The interesting thing that I found with Togo, and the unique bit, is that Togo is not just a third world country. Togo as a country is one of the 10 poorest countries in the world. They're 8th from the bottom in GDP, they're 12th from the bottom in per capita income. So the average Togolese person is earning less than $400 a year. Once we arrived in our village and realized that we had no access to water, no access to power, no access to permanent structures, everything was constructed with mud, thatch roofs. The goal of this entire project really plays back into the mission of the foundation. The Future Champions Foundation was put together, the sole purpose of creating opportunities for children to become champions in their own communities.
Bebe Rebe. Only one word.
Why Africa? Why not do something stateside? We've got plenty of issues here. We are going to be affecting a group of children who, without our help, have no chance of being more productive or being able to help push their community forward, and will remain in the same struggle as the village has been in for the last 1,000 years.
This project that we are planning was started by a woman who is from Kara.
As we're raising money, we're trying to build a network of people and organizations that are going to help us do a number of things, including raise money to finish the school, but also to make sure that it's a sustainable project in the future, and that these children are going to have the opportunity to help draw their community, their village, their country forward as they go. My name is Adam Jasic, and I'm a tennis coach who comes from Michigan. I live in Southern California now, and I'm between Southern California and New York, depending on the season for tennis.
Nicole, do you have any questions for Daniela, who is raring to go on WTA Tour here in a few years?
How old are you, Danielle?
Over the course of my life, I have tried to support children's causes. Even when I was younger and in school, I rode in the St. Jude's Bike-a-thons, but I then spent a few years putting on the bike-a-thons in my local town, trying to raise money for children's causes and impact children.
How long have you been playing tennis?
I, as a tennis coach, over the course of my career, have worked younger and younger and younger, and I do coaches education and consulting work on children's tennis initiatives, both in program development and player development with different clubs and different organizations, which has allowed me to see a lot of the world and have some unique experiences with unique communities of people. To get into the city and then take a flight to Marrakesh on a red-eye, spent the middle of that day in Marrakesh, Morocco, to take another red-eye to get to Togo.
Welcome back. We are at the airport in Casablanca, and as you can see behind me, there are not many people here tonight. It's about the middle of the night, nearing midnight, as we are about to board to head to Lomé for the final leg of the adventure. We'll see you in Lomé.
Arriving first thing in the morning, and overall it was a 2.5 day trip to get there. Togo, for me, was unique. It's in a corner of the world that many of us don't see. There's no tourism, there's no international interest in Togo. They're not a rich country in any perspective or in any arena. There's not a lot of wealth. There's about 1 million people, and there are only a few buildings in the capital city of Lomé that are taller than 3 stories.
Good morning from Togo. I have finally arrived. It took me 2 days, 2 nights of red-eye flights to get here. I am now off to the hotel and going to have a nap, and then we are off to the north.
And then to get to the village, I was picked up at the hotel by Nestor and Armstrong, who was our translator on the trip. We drove the 11 plus hours to get to the north of Togo along the highway in Togo. In the north, we were there at the end of the rainy season, and it's a beautiful savanna. I mean, it's a lot of low-lying trees, and there's some mountains on the way, and it's remarkably beautiful. It becomes a desolate area once you get out of the capital. You spend a lot of time looking at small trees and underbrush before you get people living in huts, and maybe along the highway there's some electricity, but otherwise there are no services really.
So here we are on our way to Boguer, the village in the north, and we have stopped because Nestor is buying some school supplies for 2 orphaned young ladies that he supports through his foundation here.
Once we arrived in our village and realized that we had no access to water, no access to power, no access to permanent structures, everything was constructed with mud, thatch roofs. We roll into the village to a site at the school where there's a large gathering of people, and I asked through our translator Armstrong to ask the principal, Miss Cami, holy moly, how many people do you think are here? And she looked plainly and said, all of them. The absolute outpouring of emotion and excitement and energy from this village was indescribable. I would like to tell you that it was moving. It doesn't come close to the description of how impassioned they were about the possibility. I was looked at as an alien by some of the kids that had never seen someone that looks like me. Plenty of time with kids touching and trying to figure out exactly what this is. In the middle of this ceremony with the singing and the dancing and incredibly moving display of gratitude, one of the steps that we went through was the village elder wanted to present me with a gift, and that gift was 3 guinea fowl, 3 ears of corn, and 3 yams. After receiving this gift that I didn't fully understand, I asked the principal of the school what the significance of the 3 and the 3 were. And her response was, there is no significance. That's simply everything he has. The interesting thing that I found with Togo, and the unique bit, is that Togo is not just a third world country. Togo as a country is one of the 10 poorest countries in the world. They're 8th from the bottom in GDP, they're 12th from the bottom in per capita income. So the average Togolese person is earning less than $400 US a year, which means our dollar goes a long way. One of the questions I get a lot is, why Africa? Why not do something stateside? We've got plenty of issues here. I am working with the foundation that we put together, the Future Champions Foundation. The dollars that we're raising go so much further where we're doing the work comparatively to the amount we would have to raise to do work stateside. We are going to be affecting a group of children who, without our help, have no chance of being more productive or being able to help push their community forward, and will remain in the same struggle as the village has been in for the last 1,000 years. So the goal of all of this fundraising, the goal of launching this project into action, we will build until whatever has been donated has been spent, understanding that the entire project is about $175,000 with power and water, because if we don't solve power and water, what are kids going to do after they're done with school? What's the point of attending if there's no chance that they can continue to foster without some simple resources available to them? We're really, really excited that we have all of our construction schematics are done. We have formal architectural drawings prepared with a 2-room kindergarten, latrines, which would be bathrooms to us, and offices for the principal, plus 6 classrooms for grades 1 through grade 6. So with power and water, the school's classrooms cost about $15,000 a piece. For us to do 7 classrooms and power and water, every donation that is made is impactful. This isn't a $2 million project. This is something that anyone can participate in and make a major impact in this project coming to fruition and completion. When you think that all a village needs is a bit of hope, if we can provide opportunity on the back end of that, it's a pretty good fit. With all of the other initiatives that we're currently working on, as we're raising money, we're trying to build a network of people and organizations that are going to help us do a number of things, including raise money to finish the school, but also to make sure that it's a sustainable project in the future, and that these children are going to have the opportunity to help draw their community, their village, their country forward as they go. The principal's name is Miss Cammie, and Miss Cammie is the type of personality that she beams from across the field. You want to hug her. She's so warm and passionate about the kids. Miss Cammie is explaining that in those small classrooms, they'll put 60 kids in a classroom. They're turning out the best students, or at least 2 of the top students in Northern Togo, to see what they're doing and the results that they're achieving with absolute nothing. Nestor had intervened in a child marriage. She was being married off. Nestor got involved. She has stayed in the home. She has completed her school. She's the top student in the primary school. She's also the top student in Northern Togo, which is a remarkable feat for a girl who had no chance in the beginning. But a little girl with no chance, and now she's going to be going to secondary school in the next village over, and is going to be able to be educated and make some decisions on her own and become an independent thinker and creative problem solver, that she wouldn't have had those opportunities were it not for Miss Cammie and the school, which is why we're doing what we're doing. Because if we can formalize the schooling process, give them a permanent facility so that kids can consistently attend school instead of only when it's sun, only when it's daylight, never when it's raining. If we can give them a consistent place to go to continue their education, I could only imagine the results that Miss Cammie and the team of teachers that they have working can produce.